Good morning, afternoon, evening, or whatever it is for you. I'm Brent, an author, amateur world builder, and writing educator. You can find me as werewolf-dr. on Threads, Instagram, Patreon, Ko-Fi, and YouTube, as well as here, obviously, if you are here. Today, let me get something up here real quick. Nope, wrong place. That's better. And done. Awesome. Okay, cool. Cool, so I can monitor that as well. Excellent. Okay, so today I think I'm actually going to probably pick up where I left off yesterday, because I did a lot more stuff after off stream yesterday, and I took this setting that I've now dubbed Rherych Isle and put it up to about 1,900 words, a little over 1,900 words. As compared to the roughly 750, 800 that I had yesterday. So, basically what I have added is I have named the two major cities that I'm going to be that I'm going to use as the places where the Academy and the Great Library are located. I have also added that. What else did I add there? I added a little brief discussion, just some notes to myself about basically the cities having their own networks of informants and such, as well as crime, both organized and otherwise. What else did I add in there? I added a bit of a long thing about the library, schools, inns, and tea houses. I think I'll make that tea houses. I like that better than tea shops. Gives it a little more gravitas, as it were. So we're going to change that a little bit. I'm going to change that up here as well. Tea houses sounds more more kind of like it has more weight to it than a tea shop does in some ways. So. But I set them up as basically being places of sanctuary where the guild, that is the group of legal, sorry, I'm just going to adjust this a little bit, group of legal assassins will not, and that got all wonky there. Okay, there we go. Will not target anyone while they're in one of these places or within a certain range of one of these places. There are also no duels within any of these places, nor challenges to duels issued within them. And people, particularly at inns, libraries, and universities, can formally invoke sanctuary to reside there until they choose to leave or sanctuary is revoked. Saying technically, sanctuary can be invoked or requested at a tea house. However, it's not generally a practical long-term solution. Because of how long they stay open, they don't necessarily have residences as such. They won't have residences as such. And most people have kind of forgotten they can even do that because it isn't really practical. I've also added some notes to myself about transportation, some things I want to play with and work around. What else did we add in here? Some of the reasoning behind some of the organizations or the institutions that are in charge of things, or kind of whether directly or indirectly, and why they control what they control. A little bit of discussion about constructs. So, for example, the Academy, members of the Academy believe they have a duty and a calling, not just to protect knowledge, but to expand upon knowledge and pass it on as best they can. So they believe it's their position, their place to determine what the populace is ready for, so they can divide instruction between what can be taught to outsiders safely and what needs to be kept internal under their control. And they insist that summoning, that is calling creatures, beings, spirits from other worlds and other realms of the multiverse without proper training is incredibly dangerous, both to the would-be summoner and to others, so they strictly control access to that knowledge. And basically police anyone outside the academy who might learn it. The library works similarly, that they protect knowledge, they try to possess as much knowledge of the world as possible to acquire, preserve, and keep it safe. They will occasionally work with the society to protect particularly problematic pieces. They consider book magic to be very dangerous in the wrong hands, so they keep their ears out, so they keep an eye out for any other such casters, and send people to basically police that for all intents and purposes. What was the other thing that I put in there about that? I think I might change how that magic works a little bit. I thought about that the other day, or yesterday. On the other hand, the guild has very strict rules regarding non-guild assassins. If an individual displays skill and finesse in the art, then they're given one opportunity to join the guild and are watched closely for a while, for like basically probationary period. If they lack skill or finesse, or they refuse their one offer, then they are slated for execution immediately by whatever guild agents are available. Because the guild does not mess around, basically. The order, on the other hand, which are the tea house, the tea blenders, will basically be, they kind of quietly self-police. They have a particular code. Those who contradict the code, violate the code, use their skills for not so great purposes, tend to have sudden fatal health conditions, become mentally disconnected with the world, or otherwise unable to practice or communicate the blending art to others. If the guild suspects that there is foul play in the first case, the sudden fatal health issues, they currently haven't said anything for the time being. Whether they know or not is another story. Given the blender's particular magic, they may not know, or may not be able to tell, potentially, depending. The one thing I need to work out, or one of the things I need to work out, is how things will work with multiple order-affiliated tea houses in a given city or settlement. And that's something I need to kind of think about and figure out how that's going to work. The library is easy. There's only one branch per city. The academy is easy. They basically run all of the upper-level academic institutions. They may not necessarily run the day school type places, which would be essentially like primary school for what we would say would be like kindergarten through first or fifth or eighth grade, something like that. The guild basically has one office in a given city, and only one. Obviously, tea shops, tea houses are much more common. Same with inns, so I'm also going to work out how multiple society-affiliated inns in a city will work out. As far as the society's concerned, so yesterday I was thinking initially that the fifth pillar might be the sort of courtesan salon sort of thing, pulling some Renaissance Italy stuff. I since changed my mind, backed that up a little bit, or walked that back a little bit, and decided that what I was going to do was focus in on putting together the Society of Innkeepers. So basically, they don't operate all of the inns, just like the Order doesn't operate all of the tea shops, but they do have the more well-known and best reputed ones. They tend to be somewhat higher-end ones. They tend to be, they are safer and nicer ones in many respects. Actually, I was going to put a little thing in here. So basically, and all the employees, all the people working the staff at a particular inn that's society affiliated will be members of the society. So the senior most member, which is usually going to be the establishment's proprietor, will generally be the senior most and is in charge, but it could be someone else who's senior most. And all those senior most members in an area, a region, are in contact with each other. But this could also include any cooks, barkeeps if there is any such thing, table or room staff, in-house entertainment, or wardens, who are basically going to be like your bouncers for all intents and purposes. Are all members as well. They can hold senior ranking within their particular specialty, which they would have to have in order to instruct others, or they can have... So you may have you probably won't have a senior table or room staff, but you would probably have senior cook, senior bar, senior entertainment, senior warden, and then maybe everybody starts off as table room staff to begin with. That might be like the apprentice level or the novice level of membership in the society. I think I want to put that down there. I'm going to put that in there. What else? The senior most member of any inn is responsible for policing members of that inn. There are some senior wardens who kind of float around and serve as sort of an oversight enforcement, acting on the advisement of a quorum of regional senior innkeepers when necessary. And then you have to figure out how multiple society inns in a city are going to work exactly.